Hello guys, welcome back once again to this new tarot reading. This time is to continue TXT series of tarot readings for the individual members, and then at the end I will do a reading for the group. Today I have Jombu. Jombu, is it his name? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm still getting used to a few new names, so I don't know if it's the wrong pronunciation. We're going to start. I have searched a little bit about his birth chart. I have seen a few planets, and basically he's a Pisces with a moon in Scorpio. Actually, there are a lot of moon in Scorpios in this group, which is it's remarkable um, in the sense that maybe it's because of that deep nature of a Venus in Scorpio that somehow, in my perception, and I'm a moon in Scorpio myself. In my perception, I believe the three members that have the moon in Scorpio placement are the ones that I struggle to remember the most. And I know their personalities are great, and I know that they're really talented, but somehow I remember the other two more. Uh, but I don't know, maybe because they are very visual, so they are everywhere visually, and they are promoted more visually. Maybe that's why. So I don't know. I will have to. It would be a pleasure to get to know them deeper and to also learn new things about them. So if maybe lovely people from the fandom want to educate me, I'm willing to learn new things about the group and the members. So let's start with the archetype cards. He got Seeker, Mystic, and Don Juan. That we in Spanish we call it Don Juan. That is like a substitute for player. So I will explain it later, which is really amazing in the sense because I saw that even when I saw that he was a Pisces with the moon in Scorpio, I was like, oh, he looks so innocent, but he's not at all. So he must be really interesting. I'm just I'm amused already that he must look so innocent and so angelic that people wouldn't be maybe able to see his dark side, or maybe that he is mischievous, or that he has like an intensity about him. So, but it's very moon in Scorpio to hide those traits until they get to know you better. And I don't think that in camera is a very safe place for a moon in Scorpio to show their emotions or their true nature. So you'll probably never get to see it. um, let's start with Seeker. Um, Seeker, we know that it's like the constant the person that is in constant search for new meanings, for new experiences, and actually to know the meaning of things as a whole. And I believe that him being a Pisces with a water moon, with the moon in Scorpio, he has a lot of water in his chart, so he must be, I don't think that right now because he's really young, but probably after his Saturn return, after he turns 28, I believe he will go through a phase where he will get more in touch with his spirituality or his spiritual gift. Maybe he must be very empathic and very in tune with his emotions. He must be very intuitive also and a bit of a psychic. But somehow, Pisces energy, they struggle a lot with those kinds of gifts, especially if they are surrounded by people that don't normally believe in those things. It's like they tend to adapt like a chameleon to other people's beliefs. So they may, if their background or maybe if their environment are not very believer of maybe like new age spirituality or maybe other kinds of dogmas of spirituality, he may act very serious and almost like he doesn't believe, like like I don't know how to say it in English, but like someone that doesn't believe in any religion at all. So they actually connect with those traits, with that spirituality, once they become independent, and once they start living their own life, and like somehow they found like a teacher or maybe someone that they can look up to in that sense, that can guide them through this process. Which to be a Pisces, also to have a Pisces energy, you have to be really careful not to get sucked into spirituality too much, in the sense that maybe don't get um, casted to join a cult, for example. Please don't, because actually Pisces tend to have uh, this very dreamy and this very like expansive energy around them, that somehow people that are running cults, or people that somehow believe in themselves as their own messiahs, they tend to gravitate to this Pisces energy, because they are the perfect candidates, actually, because somehow Pisces believes in everything. So they are pretty naive in those things. So he needs to take care a little bit about what kind of mentor they find, or what kind of role models they find in this spiritual searching or soul searching. They have to be careful about where they end up going, or who they end up belonging. I know he's young, but he should be really careful about that, because these kinds of people that they these gurus, quote unquote, that they call themselves spiritual, actually they feed off naive people that are actually really in tune with their spirituality, and they somehow don't know yet how to use it properly. I mean, there's not a proper way to use your spirituality or your gift. But if you connect with yourself, and if you know who you are, if you know where you stand, it's harder for these kinds of organizations, of these kinds of characters, to convince you to join them into something that may not be really beneficial for you or for a group entirely. So he will go. He's a seeker of the truth. He's a seeker. I think he must be like really um, that he somehow may not seem like he's really smart, like intelligent smart, like intellectual smart, but actually he must be really intelligent when it comes to absorbing information of what his soul resonates to, or what he gravitates towards in an emotional way. I mean, for example, I don't know, he can get passionate or interested into knowing about, I don't know, about manga, about music, about sports, and somehow it's his passion or his desire to learn which gives him this ability to go really deep into that knowledge and absorb that knowledge even better than people that maybe spent years and years reading a book. So he must be really knowledgeable or really intelligent in that way. Um, or he may have this tendency of asking really philosophical questions about themselves and about others. So he must have this kind of uh, broad view about human nature, about the world, about animals, about the environment, about ecological issues. I believe he's really expansive. I don't know why, but it gives me that his mind is able to travel and consider a lot of options, even believing in aliens or other planets, something like that. He's very different in that sense, but he's very deep at the same time. So it's like it can sound weird when he's talking about it, but there's a kind of mystery in what he says. It's like everything he says, he has like some kind of inner wisdom that when you hear it, it's like, this sounds weird. Or maybe people laugh at him because of the way he thinks or the way he expresses himself, but actually he's really intelligent. So we should pay more attention to him. Because the other card is mystic. Like I said, him being a Pisces, being a Scorpio moon, he has a lot of traits that indicates that he has a gift, that he has his third eye chakra very open, that he is able to see through you. He can see through you. He can see who you are, your intentions. And I believe that sometimes being a mystic is not that glamorous like everyone thinks. It's not like you wake up one day and you're like, oh wow, amazing. I know everything. I can see through everyone's bullshit. It's not that pleasant. It's not that comfortable actually, because one this gift it's on. There's no way you can turn it off, or being like, oh, I think I'm not seeing this. And him being a Pisces, he can have this tendency of wanting to avoid the reality of what he's perceiving, or of what his senses are telling him, or his intuition. Maybe his intuition is speaking to him and is making him feel some kind of way, because I feel like for him the intuition grows through his senses. So for example, if he is able to sense something weird or uncomfortable about someone's energy, he somehow feels like this weird shivering, this weird like it's a weird sense in his body that is like it's like a shiver. It makes you shiver inside. I don't know why, but I feel it in myself. Or he can have this tendency of yawning a lot whenever he's close to someone that they have like this negative energy, or maybe they are very dense. So maybe he feels like this, like as if he was like having like a niche or something like that in his body, but it's really uncomfortable. It makes him almost like jump in his seat. So you may feel he's uncomfortable whenever he's feeling that, whenever he's like absorbing that intuition, because he's like he moves his body, like he makes like a shrug with his shoulders because he's not comfortable, or he may move his head in a certain way. It's like he has like he's like shivering. I don't know why, but he has this kind of gesture because it's like he feels the energy in his body, because it's like he needs to protect his aura, he needs to protect his energy a lot. I always say this about the water moons: they need to do a lot of cleansing and a lot of harmonization, because they are surrounded by a lot of people, so their energy get contaminated all the time. And the last card is the Don Juan card. That is a player card. So that's what that's what I was laughing so much when I saw it, because I was like, yes, um, this is very Scorpio moon. He has it very well hidden. I mean, I always thought that this Don Juan player card would come out to Jimin because of his Mars and his Venus in Scorpio, but no, no, this guy here beat Jimin but dreaming got fatal. So he was close. He was really close. But yes, he got the player card. So I think he's really, because he's really smooth in the sense that he's a Pisces. So he's like this, like angelic, kind of innocent. He gives you like this kind of sensitive guy, that he's really spiritual and that he's really soft, but actually he's really wild. Actually, he has a kind of magnetism that he's really young now, but I believe that as time passes, he will own it. He will own this energy of being a player, of being, I mean, not being a player per se, because I don't remember where his Venus is, his Venus sign, but actually enjoying to conquering, just to see if he has it, if he has it to conquer someone. So he may come off really nice, he may be really nice to someone, and getting like closer and closer and closer. And that's very Moon Scorpio to do. And the last thing you know, you are already falling in love with him and you have no idea. And suddenly he disappears because he's a Pisces, so he is going to be really evasive. Like he's going to be really romantic, but at the same time he's going to be really mysterious, so you'll never know what you're going to get from him. But I was laughing so much when he got this card, because it's like, yes, a very good boy image on the outside, but in the inside he's a little bit devilish, which it's really interesting because um I love that, because I want him to own that energy. If he has this seductiveness, if he has this desire to conquer someone that he likes or that he is attracted to, he should go for it. He should feel really comfortable in his own experiences with the person or the people that he likes. It's about feeling comfortable in your skin, and I believe that for him, it's like to for him to be so sensitive and to be so soft. It may be like weird for him to realize that whenever he's interested in someone, that Scorpio trait comes out, and it's like he becomes really like infatuated, or he becomes really obsessed with someone, and he becomes like this hunter, in this hunter vibe, when he's staring at you, he's staring at your soul, and he's like being a little bit creepy. But you can do it, you can do it, we believe in you, you can do it. Just get the player out, just enjoy it, enjoy the process. Let's go with the cards that came out for him. The cards that came out for him, it's um the five of oh my god, I cannot see anything. The Five of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the Tower, the Temperance card, the Devil, the Hermit, the Justice, Six of Pentacles, the World, and last, the Fool. So let's start with him. Um, he is still very he still feels like he's lacking in something. Maybe he's really insecure. There's something about him. Maybe because he's really intuitive and he's really like empathic, and somehow he deals with a lot of insecurities within himself, but mostly because he could express more, that he could be not that sensitive. He wished he could be tougher in life. He wished he could be more stable, but somehow his emotions take over him, and it's like it destabilizes. It like it it takes away all his stability. So he feels really, for example, if he is feeling too emotional, or if he, for example, like I said, he absorbs a lot of energy of others, actually it's like it affects his physical aspect, it affects his health. Somehow he feels drained, he feels tired, he feels sick. uh, so that's a kind of sometimes he doesn't feel as energetic as he should. There are moments where he feels like his whole body sometimes it hurts, that there's like muscles that hurt, that are in that he's in pain. So he wishes he wouldn't. He feels he has this perception of himself as being weak, even though he's not. But he, like I said, he needs to learn to not guard himself so much. And I know that this is with his energies is really hard to do, especially when you are in an environment that is really competitive. And actually he's not very competitive. Actually he's more of this, he's very evasive in the sense that maybe when things don't come out the way he wants to, he just recludes and he just shuts down. He's just like, he goes into this hermit mode, and sometimes he doesn't talk about what really bothers him, or maybe if someone says something that he's really angry about, or that somehow he feels he got offended, he just builds all that anger inside of him. It's like he doesn't want to damage his image or the image that others have of him, which is really sad because I believe that he's in the process of getting to know his real self, and he has a lot of different sides. So maybe this is why he finds that very confusing, because he thinks that one person should be like one way and stick to that behavior. And it's like he doesn't want to show his, maybe his fears, or maybe he doesn't want to show that there's a certain moments where he feels like he lacks energy, or that he cannot concentrate, because I feel like he's he's so sensitive that sometimes he's like a human sponge. This is what happens with people that are empathic. You just absorb everything, and it becomes a huge weight on your energy field if you cannot protect yourself, or if you do not know how to protect yourself. So he is going through this period where he just prefers to not talk about it, and sometimes he just goes into this hermit mode, where most of what he keeps inside, what he doesn't show, is that he gets angry easily. But actually he gets really angry and he holds grudges. He is very resentful. I don't know if that's the word. He holds a lot of resentment, with his very moon in Scorpio to hold resentment. And somehow he just doesn't say anything because he doesn't want to disturb anyone. But that's not the case. He has to be able to speak more. He has to be able to talk a little bit more about what really bothers him, because he doesn't realize it, but once he is holding on to some kind of grudges, he becomes really moody, and he becomes really like, and he has this dense energy himself, that you are like, oh my god, he's like a ticking bomb. It's like he's quiet, he's still, but you know that he's about to explode. You know that he's like a volcano. You know that and he looks at you with the sweetest smile, but you know that somehow he's about to explode. He's about to go into combust. I don't know. It's something weird that he does. And actually he must have, I don't know if he does it, but I believe that he has those, like those if if looks could kill, like he has that death stare, that he looks at you and he seems like he's about to kill you with his stare, with him staring at you. He has those kind of laser eyes, that he just, you can tell that he's not comfortable, but at the same time his whole facial expression says otherwise. He's like trying to be really sweet and trying to look really submissive, but inside he's burning. So it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And poor guy, he just wants to do what's right. He doesn't want to upset the balance in the group. Um he doesn't want to be the one that creates chaos or a bad feeling in the group. He actually wants to maintain the balance. He wants to be like some kind of mediator. He wants to be there for everyone. He wants to be trustworthy. He wants the other members to see him as this rightful person, as this good person, but he's not seeing that he's actually looking at it from a perspective of white and black, like good and bad. And actually, that's not how it works, because you can have like strong emotions and they are not bad emotions. They're just strong, and sometimes, yes, they don't feel good inside. But that's because in order for you to transform them, to make them into something that you can let it go and learn from, you need to talk about it. You need to express it. You need to purge it. You need to let it pass through you. And sometimes it may be in the form of screaming, I don't know, shouting, like I'm not saying become aggressive and start throwing punches at everyone, but somehow just get it out of your system. Just express it and let it go. Or maybe write a letter to someone, and let them know that maybe you are hurt, or maybe you are feeling sensitive about something they said or did to you, so the other can also know. And don't hold it like this whole huge secret that everyone can tell that you're hiding something, that something inside of you is not okay. So it's like he expects everyone to guess or to to if it was some kind of telepathic game where the others could sense that he's mad about something and would ask him about it. So he's cute. He's learning. He's the process of learning. So the other cards that came out for him is the Six of Pentacles, the World, and the Fool. So yes, he has a lot of work to do within himself. He has a lot to do. He has to open his mind. He has to. I think he's coming to an age. He's coming to a stage in his growth, in his growing, in his development as in individual, where he needs to open up his view, and at the same time he cannot let himself be guided by what other people tell him that he should be like. He needs to set himself free from other people's expectation, because actually he has a lot of wisdom. He's really expansive. His energy is really amazing. I have this feeling of profoundness, that he's really profound, but he needs to release that energy. He needs to be gentle with himself. He needs to be more compassionate with himself, not to beat himself up for things that happened in the past, or for things that are happening and sometimes he's not in the mood, or maybe sometimes because idle life must be really tough for him, which is sometimes it amuses me, the amount of moon in water that are in this business, because they're so sensitive that I don't know how they can cope, or how they can get by with being on the spotlight, or be so exposed and so somehow so having to be so managed, because they are managed, because they are being told what to do 24/7. And this is not about which company is better than the other, but actually the training process and the idol life, it's actually being told what to do. So they can tell it to you in a nicer tone, they can smile at you, but the managers will tell you what to do and where to go. And if you want to go somewhere, you go with them. So there's a kind of restriction, there's a kind of a structure that you have to follow. So I don't know, when you are that sensitive, how you can manage surviving this exposure. But at the same time, I feel like he's going to start a journey within himself. So probably he will start to be more interested in maybe writing, not writing, reading more books about self acknowledgement, about self knowledge, about being more insightful, about being more connected with himself, maybe like a self help book, um, or maybe to read novels that talk about this spiritual journey, so he can somehow connect with this and be in harmony with this spiritual side of him, um, because he needs to keep feeding this seeker mode, because he has all the answers actually in himself, but he needs to find inspiration, inspiration in other people, inspiration, some maybe it can be in movies, in books, in everything he consumes, can help him to get closer to the guidance he needs, because it's like his soul is asking him to move, to get out there and find your muse, find what can motivate you to be more yourself. Don't be scared of your gift. Just learn to control it, learn to use it, learn to how to maybe how to like manage it, so you don't wear yourself down. Uh, so because he needs to do it, because he's in the spotlight, so he will need to do it. Um, and he needs to enjoy of this player Don Juan archetype. Maybe love and conquering and relationships, and feeling sexually attracted to someone can also inspire him to get connected to those energies. Maybe he needs some form of expression there, um, because Moon and Scorpio tend to be really sexual. So I don't know, maybe he's starting to feel this need to having like more like a stable sexual life, or having stable partners to experiment, uh, like to experiment with his libido. So who knows? He's young and he's a really deep person. He has a lot of strong emotions, and maybe sex can somehow help him. Hopefully, he won't get addicted to it, but he can also see the spiritual side of a sexual sacred union with someone. So I'm going to leave it, guys, here. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a like. I will see you in the next video. Bye.